Hi, fifth graders. We're going to do another sprint today for lesson 16. So in your yellow practice book, open up to page 37. Page 37. And you'll know you're on the right page if you see lesson 16 sprint, and we want side A. So on these sprints, you're going to be multiplying and dividing by exponents. This looks pretty familiar. In fact, it is really similar to your lesson 15 sprint, which was just multiplying by exponents. This time you're also adding dividing. They kind of split it up nicely. Instead of going back and forth with multiplication and division, one side of this is multiplication and one side of this is division. Doesn't mean you'll necessarily get to the division part, but if you get that far, that's great. Then you can do a little bit of extra division practice. So again, you're going to work for 1 minute. During that time, I want you to try your best and try and stay focused for that whole minute. Your goal is just to improve from side A to side B. If the sprint, the timing aspect freaks you out, that's okay. Ignore the timer, jump ahead, and then correct your work with us, and we can talk about what do we notice about the sprint that can help us improve the second time. So before you even get started, reminder that your answers for this sprint should look like this. They're just numbers, regular numbers. All right, so starting on side A, have your pencil at the ready. Oops, that's not what I wanted. All right, 1 minute to solve. Ready, set, think. All right, put an X below the last problem you were able to solve. And let's look at these. You're gonna put a check next to any ones you get wrong. You don't need to do anything if you got it right. Starting on number 1, 100, 100, 1,000, 1,000, 10,000, 10,000, 300, 300, 310, 315, 315 decimal 7. I'm on question 12. 4,000, 4,000, 4,200, 4,280, 4,283, 50,000, 50,000, 57,000, 57,300, 57,310, 2,400. I'm on question 23. 34, 34 decimal 7, 34 decimal 07, 34 decimal 007, 63, 63, 63 decimal 8, 63 decimal 08, 63 decimal 082, 8 decimal 1, 8 decimal 1. On question 34, 8 decimal 14, 8 decimal 104, 9 decimal 105, 7, excuse me, 9 decimal 107. On question 37, 1 decimal 2, 0 decimal 35, 4 decimal 592, 6 decimal 04, 6 decimal 108, decimal 078, 40 decimal 87, 520 decimal 709. All right, count up how many you got correct right up in the top corner here. And then I want you looking for patterns. What do you notice about the answers that could help you on the second side? I noticed, I even noticed this when I was saying it, that these first few problems, kind of like sprints for lesson 15, these first few problems repeated. So 1 and 2 were 100, 3 and 4 were 1,000, 5 and 6 were 10,000, 7 and 8 were 300, and then they started going off. But there was still kind of a pattern. So 7 and 8 were 300, and then the next few still started with a 3. In fact, they kind of built off. So first it was a 3, then it was a 3.1, then it was a 3.15, then it was a 3.157. But the part that stayed the same, we were always multiplying by 10 to the second power. So if 3 times 10 to the second power was 300, that 1 is just going to follow. So it's still right after the 3. So I only need 1 0. Then the 5 follows right after the 1. I don't need to add anything because I already have 2 numbers after the 3, which puts that 3 in the hundreds place. The next one has 4 numbers total, but that 3 still needs to be 300. So I need to add a decimal so it stays in the hundreds place. This could be helpful on the next side. So then it kind of continues. Then we have 4,000 again, then 4,000 again. The reason they're doing this, they want to show you that these mean the same thing. If you're getting the same answer, these are equal to one another. So it's helpful to remember. And then they did that same. I'm always multiplying by 10 to the third power, which is 4. So sorry, not 10 to the third power. Oh yeah, sorry. It's 4 times 10 to the third power, which is always 4,000. They're just adding a digit each time. So it started out as 4, then it was 4.2, then it was 4.28, then it was 4.283. So building off, if it has to stay with a 4 in the thousands place, that 2 is just going to follow it. Then the 2.8 is going to follow it. And then the 2.83. As long as my 4 stays in the thousands place, I don't have to change anything. Let's use this to help us solve, hopefully improve our score on side B. So flip your page. I'm on now on page 39. Have your pencil up there ready. And you're going to work the whole time, trying your best to stay focused. All right. 1 minute. You can begin now. All right, put an X below the last one you were able to solve, and let's check our work. I noticed on here, as I was just looking at it as you were solving, that it switched to division on question 7. Did you notice that? So this one was a little bit tougher. It's okay if you didn't improve your score because they did change things up on us quite a bit. All right, starting on number 1. 100, 100, 1,000, 1,000, 10,000, 10,000, 5, 5, 5.1, 5.16, 5.167. I'm on question 12. 6, 6, 6.2, 6.28, 6.283, 7, 7, 7.6, 7.63, 7.631, 43. On question 23, 43, 43.7, 43.07, 43.007, 73, 73, 73.8, 73.08, 73.082, 9.1, 9.1. On question 34, 9.14, 9.104, 8.107, 1.7, 0.45, 5.492, 4.06, 7.108, 0.087, 60.47, 720.509. How did you do? Count them up. And then also figure out how many you improved by. I want to talk a little bit about this, so pause if you need more time to figure out your two numbers. And then let's take a look. So I noticed the same sort of patterns here. So 100, 100, 1,000, 1,000, 10,000, 10,000. But that's not the part I want us to look at because we already hopefully saw this. Very similar to the last one. Let's look at the division. So this first one, 500 divided by 100 should just be 5. It's like 5 anythings divided by 1 anything would just be 5. And that same thing would be here because 10 squared is the same thing as 100. So number 8 is also 5. Now let's take a look. This is the part I want us to look at. They're kind of doing the same thing that they did on side A, where they're building up, but this time with division. So really they're building down. So our first one was 500 divided by 10 squared. That's 5. Then look at our next one, number 9. It's still 10 squared. In fact, it will be for quite some time. But now the number is growing. So if I know 500 divided by 10 to the second power is 5, these are still 500. They're just having other digits as well. So 510, 516, 516.7. So that 5 is going to stay on each of these. Because there's numbers after it, we're going to need a decimal. So this first one, 510 divided by 10 squared, would either be 5.1 or 5.10. Same thing. Then we have 5.16 and 5.167. I'm picturing those numbers going over on the place value chart, getting smaller by 2 spots. That's what's happening in my head. All right, hopefully you noticed that. I know this one was a bit tougher than side A, so it's okay if you didn't improve, but as long as you tried your best. Something else I want to point out, if you flip, we are now on module 2. So what I'd like you to do, if you haven't been doing this already, I'd like you to take all of these pages. So even the beginning pages, fine with me if you rip them out. But I want you to rip them out. If you can staple them, that would be awesome. If not, maybe paper clip or just stick them inside your math folder. And hopefully when we come back to school, we can collect those and take a look at them. So rip them out, put them inside your math folder. If there's a way for you to clip them together at all, I would do that. And remember the trick, hold down the corner when you're ripping up. This is a lot of pages. Excuse me. Oh, a lot of pages. I might have to break it into chunks. I'm just going to take a little bit, hold down that corner, and I'll start making piles like this. But I'm not going to go past 5.1, grade 5, module 1. Don't rip out any module 2 things. Otherwise, I will be very upset. So I'm looking Ripping out. Think, oh, here's lesson 16. Aha. Here. There we go. So this should be what I see on top. Don't rip out anymore. If you did, save them. You will need them. The next one is, well, actually not the next one, but a couple in. These ones are very important, so I don't want you to skip. All right. Good job, everyone. Bye.